When I figured out that I wanted to be an outdoor and adventure creative, traveling the world, going on cool adventures, and taking pictures for a living, I thought it was going to be all fun and games. Creative adventures, lots of time behind the camera, send the images off to the client, get paid, and move on to the next one. But the reality is that the creative world is much more difficult and much more grounded than I ever imagined. And these are the things I wish someone had told me before I got into this.
My name is Nolan Matthews. I'm a photographer, director, and pilot based in Utah. After nearly a decade in the corporate world, I walked away to build a life around travel, adventure, and storytelling. This channel is all about the work, the process, and the stories behind it all.
Being a creative professional is truly a dream come true. And I genuinely believe that every human being needs to be creative in some way, shape, or form. And if you can blend that creativity with your livelihood, you've solved one of life's greatest hacks. You never work a day in your life if it doesn't feel like work. And most days, that's exactly how I feel. But when I started this, I thought I'd be spending the majority of my time traveling, shooting, and going from one cool project to the next. Don't get me wrong, I still get these opportunities, but they are fewer and further between than I probably would like. But for those of us who are still in the building phase, still getting our careers to a better place, these are the 5 things I wish someone had told me on day 1 so I could have better prepared myself. Number 1, you're running a business. This is a business, and just like any other small business owner, you are going to spend a lot of your time doing tasks that you never envisioned yourself doing. IT, systems, accounting, contracts, legal paperwork, managing subcontractors, paying bills, and selling. A whole lot of selling. I know that's not the romantic version of this career that you probably envision, but it's certainly the real one. And sure, as you grow, you can start outsourcing some of these things, and we'll talk about when the time is right to do that in a later episode. But outsourcing costs money, and in the early days, learning to handle these things yourself is almost always the cheaper route. The bottom line is that you're a business owner first, and while this is a really cool business, one that takes you to incredible places and lets you work on meaningful projects, the business side never goes away, and the sooner you embrace that, the better off you'll be. Number 2, you'll spend less time behind the camera than you think. Number 2 is closely related, but I think it deserves its own moment. In the early parts of my career, I was shooting constantly. Every chance I got, I had a camera in my hands. And honestly, that's exactly what you should be doing when you're first starting out. But here's something that I didn't expect. The further I've gotten in my career, the less time I actually spend behind a camera. It's not because I love it less, but it's because my time behind the camera has become expensive, and clients aren't just paying for me to shoot, they're paying me to plan, direct, manage, and deliver. The actual shooting is a piece of a much bigger puzzle. So now, the days when I'm in an incredible location with great people doing exactly what I dreamed of, those days are fewer, but they also mean more. And the goal is to keep building systems that let me delegate the things that I don't want to do so I can get back to the camera more and more. I just wish someone had told me that early. Not to discourage me, but so I could have set realistic expectations and not been caught off guard when it actually happened. Number 3, it is going to take a lot longer than you think. Early in my career, after landing a few client jobs that came together fairly quickly, I started to believe that being fully self-sustained, just shooting projects and living a creative life, wasn't that far off. Well, I was wrong. When we see people producing incredible work, it's easy to think, I can do that. And believing in yourself is really important. Don't lose that. But what we often don't see is the years of work behind the portfolio, behind the reputation, and behind the relationships that made that career that you're looking at possible. Here's what I've learned. The reason most people don't make it in this industry or freelancing in general isn't lack of talent, it's lack of longevity. It's that they don't have the staying power to weather the hard seasons. The people who ultimately make it are truly inspiring to me because I know firsthand that they had to hang on through some of the hardest stretches of their lives. When work was thin, when they leveled up and clients didn't follow, and when every sign pointed to them quitting. And they just didn't quit. So buckle up, have patience, and know that staying with it, even when it's hard, is often the whole game. Number 4, relationships are your most important asset. Relationships are probably the most important tool that you have. I used to think that being a great creative and running a smart business was enough. Don't get me wrong, being insanely talented matters. But the further I go, the more I realize that the people who want to hire you, especially as you become more expensive, want to work with someone they trust, someone they know, someone they have a real rapport with. Nobody gets sold to by a stranger and immediately says yes. I mean, think about it. How many times has a door-to-door salesman knocked on your door and you actually bought something? But if someone you know deeply says, hey, I'm working on something, will you take a look at this? You'd probably give it a chance. And that's the difference. We've talked about networking and communicating in other episodes, how to reach out, how to position yourself, how to solve people's problems. But real relationships take time to build. They don't happen overnight. And the sooner you start investing in them, the faster your career will grow. Number 5, it's never about just one thing. I thought that if I was talented enough or business savvy enough, the work would come. And being an incredible creative absolutely matters. It will certainly catch people's attention, but it won't keep them. Because if you're not great at the client experience, at communication, at over-delivering, at making people feel like you're genuinely their partner, it's going to be a one and done a lot of the time. I've been in competitive situations, proposals, pitch conversations where the award didn't go to the lowest price. It didn't go to the prettiest reel or the most polished deck. It went to the person who checked the most boxes, who felt like the safest bet, who made the client feel understood. So just as much as you need to work on your craft, you need to be working on your communication, your kindness, your business sense, and your ability to adapt. You need to be leveling up in all the ways, not just the visual ones or the product ones. This industry is changing faster than ever. AI is here, the market is evolving, and the creatives who are going to thrive are the ones who are willing to adapt and grow with it. When I got started, I had dreams of being on mountains, chasing light, and creating things that made people feel something. Some of those dreams have come true, and that has been incredible. But I've also learned, mostly the hard way, that there's so much more that goes into building a real creative career. It's not all about the visuals, and it's not all about the talent. So if I could go back and tell myself one thing before I started, it would be this: prepare for the long haul. Not just as a creative, but as a business owner, a communicator, a relationship builder, a salesperson, and someone who is always willing to get better. Listen, the dream is real, but so is the work that it takes to get there.